Hanuman's ideal and its result. It was 10 months since the king of Lanka, Ravana, had abducted Sita and kept her captive in his pleasure orchard, the Ashokavana. Having begged Sita for love many times and having been repeatedly rejected, Ravana reaches the limit of frustration. He gives her a last 2-month deadline and in anger orders his servants that if Sita was not to accede to his request, she be made mincemeat and served for breakfast. Sita has no wish to address the evildoer Ravana directly, but keeps a piece of grass in between and says, "You may eat me or do whatever you may wish to, but you cannot take away my celibacy, my devotion to my husband, following the path of Pativratya. Besides, you will not be able to win a war against Rama, and you will be annihilated by his sharp arrows." Having been pushed to the depths of despair, Sita decides to give her life up. She ties her long hair to a branch of a tree and attempts to take her life. At that very moment, Hanuman, Sri Rama's emissary in search of Sita, arrives in Ashokavana. His first sight is that of Sita trying to end her life. Without getting perturbed, with great composure and presence of mind, he melodiously sings the glorious saga of Rama's dynasty, so as to induce composure in her and to turn her away from her attempt. He also muses that he was seeing the personality of Sita as described by Rama in the lady stood before him, in terms of her height, complexion, and other features. Listening to these words, Sita is distracted and searches for the soothing voice. Soon Hanuman comes near Sita and hands over the ring given by Rama and tells her that he was Sri Rama's messenger and had come in search of her. We all know the subsequent happy ending to this story. In spite of thousands of years having elapsed since this happened, the story is relevant even today. Ravana, forgetting what legitimately belonged to him, falls prey to the temptation of his senses, seeking things that are not his and are unattainable, thus violating the bounds of dharma. We see similar things in our society too. Rama destroys the evil Ravana and protects dharma. As such, Sita too, in her depths of despair, disturbed by the situation she was in, comes to the wrong conclusion. We too face similar situations. Hearing from Hanuman nectarine instances from the history of Sri Rama's lineage at the right time, Sita gains confidence. Hanuman, having placed himself entirely at the service of Sri Rama, with a great presence of mind, saves a disaster from occurring at a very vital moment. Having dedicated his life to Rama, Hanuman had placed Rama as the substratum for all his acts of service. The crossing of the ocean by Hanuman mirrors the crossing of the ocean of life by the grace of the Lord of the universe, Rama. Hanuman, by stoking memories of Rama, fills Sita's heart with courage, conviction, patience, and fortitude for the weight of Rama's arrival. With his heroic deeds in the battles and his skillful arguments, and by his action of setting the city of Lanka ablaze, he torments Ravana's heart with anxiety, at the same time espousing the incomparable valor and heroism of Sri Rama and the superiority of the path of righteousness or dharma. Thus, having completely absorbed Sri Rama's heart and acting in consonance with it, Anjaneya pours the nectar of Sri Rama's saga into the heart of all readers and listeners. Our salutations to that master tutor, the prime life force, Mukhya Prana, who showed to the world what was meant by ideal devotion to Lord Sri Rama.